This is Sun Peaks Resort, 45 minutes from Kamloops, British Columbia. It's the second largest ski area in Canada that boasts an impressive 4,200 skiable acres. In this video, I'll review Sun Peaks Mountain Resort as we've done with Deer Valley, Park City, and Mount Bachelor. We'll talk through 10 categories rated from 0 to 10 that form the culminating score up to a 100. A 0 out of 10 means something isn't applicable, so if Sun Peaks doesn't have food, then the score would be a 0. A 1 is absolutely terrible and a 5 is average, as well as the most common score we'll be seeing. A 10 out of 10 means there's nothing better, and we won't be seeing that so often. Since 2015, we've visited Sun Peaks during Christmas. The scores are based off several 4 to 5 day trips with all sorts of snow conditions and weather. Let's jump into the first rating, which is the ease of access. This category questions how easy it is to get to the resort from anywhere, really. Though Sun Peaks is a large resort, it's not extremely easy to access. If you're coming from the nearest city, which is Kamloops, it's not so bad, but outside this region is where things get difficult. We traveled from Washington State and have needed to drive on Routes 3 and Route 5, which are guaranteed full-day trips all the time. This means you won't be skiing the same day you travel. Both of these roads are mountain passes that can get pretty gnarly in spots, with steep pitches, sharp curves, and frequent spinouts from other cars. Make sure you have a car that's capable of completing the drive, as the long passes don't have gas stations or any areas to get immediate help. The traction law, which requires all-wheel drive and winter tires, is often in effect. If you're coming from Vancouver, Seattle, Kelowna, and pretty much any major city, you'll need to drive on a mountain pass. Flying into Kamloops is an option, but the airport's small, meaning flying can be extremely expensive and not worth it. Once you're in Kamloops, the resort's located about 45 minutes away and is pretty easy to access from there. Just some more snow-covered roads, but nothing compared to Route 3 and Route 5. There's only one way in and one way out, but this isn't a big deal due to the low traffic of the resort. This year, travelers from the US must show proof of vaccination and get a negative COVID test to cross the border within the 72 hours prior to arrival. While vaccinations are expected to keep travelers safe and healthy, the COVID test can get a little interesting. If you don't get your results by the deadline, your trip will come to an end before it even started. I'm giving Sun Peaks a 4 out of 10 for ease of access due to the tricky mountain passes and expensive flights, but not deducting for border crossings because COVID has only impacted us one of the 6 trips. Once you get to the mountain, you might need to stay in a hotel, so lodging is the next category. Sun Peaks has a fair amount of options. The hotels we've stayed at consist of the Coast Sundance Lodge, Sun Peaks Grand, and Sun Peaks Lodge. There are more options for you to stay at, including the Hearthstone Lodge and Kahilti Hotel. Of the hotels we've stayed at, the Sun Peaks Grand is the best value and most luxurious. All the rooms have been renovated in the past few years and are more modern, giving a nice lodging experience. We paid $400 a night at peak times during Christmas week for a room with 2 queen beds, a clean bathroom, and a nice area to chill. The Sun Peaks Lodge and Sundance Lodge are slightly less modern than the Grand, but still offer ski-in, ski-out access to the mountain. Though they do have a lot of hotels, they don't compare to the value other places can give you, such as the Evolution and Legends at Whistler. None of the lodges are 10 out of 10 spectacular, as most hotels are older. However, most resorts don't have an excessive amount of options, so while lodges and hotels could be nicer, they still have variety. This is going to earn Sun Peaks a 7 out of 10 when it comes to the lodging. Following hotels, we have the pricing. Lift tickets are significantly cheaper than other major resorts because they aren't owned by a certain large company, which increases prices. A day pass during peak times, which are late December and early January, is $104. That's very good value and less expensive than 99% of major resorts. Let me put that into perspective for you. During peak times, a day ticket at Crystal is $184, Whistler is $154 US, Bachelor is $143, Park City is $213, and Deer Valley is $249. Sun Peaks has significantly less expensive prices than most other ski resorts. During standard non-peak times, prices at Sun Peaks are $70 for a lift. The exchange rate from Canadian dollars to US dollars benefits US travelers. It's not only lift ticket prices that are good, but food and lodging are both much more reasonable than the other destinations I mentioned. Sun Peaks is going to earn a 9 out of 10 for their outstanding pricing and great value. After a long drive or a long ski day, you're going to need some food, so that's the next category. At Sun Peaks, you can choose from a wide variety of cuisines, and the best part is the close proximity to the lifts. At most resorts, you have an average lunch on the mountain, then go back to your day of skiing. At Sun Peaks, the ski-through village allows you to easily access multiple restaurants during your ski day. You can still get the standard lodge food, but also go to some great restaurants to eat for lunch. Some good ones are the Todd Mountain Cafe, Bottom's Bar and Grill, Morrissey's Pub, Joe Poutine, and Mountain Tiger. Starting with breakfast, the Todd Mountain Cafe is one of many options. They have coffee and amazing crepes. I like the Banana Rama with bananas and Nutella. They make things fresh and it's a great start to your day. For lunch or dinner, Bottom's Bar and Grill is great and offers tasty entrees and appetizers. Morrissey's Pub also offers a good menu with great interactive staff and a really amazing salted caramel cheesecake dessert. I would recommend going just for this. Joe Poutine is also a good takeout restaurant and has quick poutine of all sorts. Poutine is fries, gravy, and cheese curds, a Canadian special. Mountain Tiger is also great, with several Indian and Chinese food options. Their fried rice with your choice of meat is great. The lodge food at Sun Peaks is like any other ski resort, but they have a few more options. Sun Peaks earns an 8 out of 10 for food because they have a great selection with whatever you're in the mood for to eat. Next, let's rate the lifts. Sun Peaks has a variety of them. Sun Peaks has 4 fixed grip quads, 3 high-speed quads, and 2 platter lifts. Most of these are relatively old, though they still somewhat perform their duties well. The lifts themselves, though, are certainly average. The Morrissey Express is the most advanced chairlift at Sun Peaks, and even that isn't too fancy. The Sunburst Express chairlift has bubbles, which are a really nice touch. So I'm essentially in my own little enclosed bubble here, and if it's snowing, it's nice because you're protected from the elements, and it kind of keeps you warm in some cases. Guests can pull down the bubbles and cover themselves from snowstorms, and the bubbles can also keep you warm. Problem is, most of them are so old you can't exactly see out of them anymore. Sometimes you'll get lucky and get a clear bubble though. The Sundance Express chairlift is pretty standard, servicing its own peak, as well as the new Crystal Chair, Burfield Chair, Elevation Chair, and Orient Chair. While the chairlifts might not stand out, the placement and lift system certainly does. All the lifts have an ideal purpose to get you up the mountain. None of them serve as connector lifts that increase travel time to the summit. Sundance and Morrissey Peaks are serviced by individual lifts that get you up to the top most efficiently. The main mountain uses the Sunburst Express to service the lower mountain, and Burfield and Crystal to service the upper portion. I'm very impressed by the layout of Sun Peaks lifts. Burfield even has a mid-load station for guests to load and only ski the upper mountain. Sun Peaks will earn a 7 out of 10 for their lifts, because although they aren't the fanciest, lifts are designed specifically to an area and placed efficiently. And now the part everyone loves, the ski runs. For this category, we're looking at both the quality and the variety. Sun Peaks has something for everyone, no matter what your skill level is. Their 4,270 skiable acres and 2,894 feet of vertical offers runs of all sorts. If you're a beginner, you can head up to the Sunburst Express chairlift to hit 5 Mile. This run is the main beginner trail on the mountain, and it's very wide. You can practice your skiing down the consistent pitch of 5 Mile, and it's great for gaining skills on skis or a snowboard. On the Mount Morrissey side is my favorite beginner run I've ever skied, called the Sticks. This run is awesome for a green. The tree islands scattered across the wide trail make it fun for everyone to go through or around. The Sticks also has some great trees off to the side for slightly more advanced skiers, as well as some good side hits. Moving on to intermediate terrain, this takes up the majority of the mountain. 58% of terrain is intermediate, which correlates well with the skill level of guests. Sun Peaks has very balanced terrain and makes for great progression in this way. Some of my favorite blue runs are Sundowner, OSV, Midlife Crisis, and 3 Bears. Sundowner off the Sundance Express is a nice long and consistent groomer that's great for practicing form and turns on. You can zoom down this one. OSV is also great, however, this one is the race course. When it's open to the public though, OSV is fun with its rolling hills and fast pitches. Midlife Crisis is a great blue run on the Morrissey side. This run is occasionally groomed, but no matter the condition, the tree islands make it a slightly more difficult version of the Sticks. 3 Bears is my favorite blue run. It's full of scattered trees and gets some nice snow on it, making for good skiing conditions all the time. When it's sunny, you can still find powder, but the trees give you visibility in snowy conditions. The blacks on this mountain are also great. My choices are 5th Avenue, Sting, and Agitator. 5th Avenue is one of many runs in the face of the Sunburst Express. This is easily one of my favorite parts of Sun Peaks. The runs offer the perfect series of progression from Blazer to Exhibition for blues and Broadway to 5th Avenue for blacks. If you're an intermediate skier looking to gain skills, this is a good spot to spend your day. 5th Avenue never gets groomed and is fairly steep, while Sting, another favorite, is consistent and usually gets groomed. As for expert terrain, Sun Peaks also offers some decent runs. Chute is a great one off Crystal and can have some fresh tracks early in the day. The upper part is significantly steeper than the black runs and can challenge advanced skiers if they choose different lines. Freddy's Nightmare is also a good run off the base of the Burfield lift, but unfortunately it hasn't opened this year. The resort also has backcountry. You can hike out the Gills and drop into the Gills Glades, which never get tracked out. The hike out can be a pain though, and can take up to an hour. Let's also talk about their park. I'm not one to ride park, but I can tell they've done significant work this season. They have multiple big air jumps on Sundance and many rails either at the top or bottom of Sundance. The features are very progressive and fit the nature of this mountain. They are very well marked and allow people to easily understand if a feature is in their ability level. The only thing Sun Peaks really lacks is big mountain terrain. They do have Crystal Bowl and West Bowl, but nothing that's purely above treeline and very steep. Sun Peaks will earn a 9 out of 10 though, for having the most progressive and balanced terrain of any mountain I've ever seen. The snow quality is also pretty good, as it stays untracked and isn't too wet because of the northern location. Sun Peaks has a lot of runs, but how is their grooming? It's pretty great. Every day, the resort lists what they'll groom to help you plan your ski day. The groomers choose a nice variety of beginner, intermediate, and advanced terrain to groom, and this results in that progression factor I was talking about. For example, they could groom Sting and Caribou on the Sunburst face while leaving Intimidator and Bluff untouched. The quality of grooming is great too. On beginner runs, it's nice and smooth with no overlap, even, and goes side to side on runs. On intermediate and advanced runs, groomers leave a little extra raw terrain on the side. I'm giving Sun Peaks a 9 out of 10 for having a nice variety of grooming that's also of good quality. While Sun Peaks has great skiing, a variety of restaurants, and a nice village with ski-in, ski-out hotels, what really differentiates it is the staff. The staff comes from all over the globe, as close as Kamloops and as far away as Australia and New Zealand. The common theme is that every staff member is friendly, patient, and cares about providing an exceptional customer experience. Sun Peaks offers a complimentary mountain host program where volunteers ski with guests to orient them to the mountain. My family has taken advantage of this program for 6 years. It enables us to experience new terrain, learn little known facts about the mountain, and allows me and my parents to ski with a mountain host at our own level. Every one of the 25 plus hosts we've skied with our 6 years has been amazing. Friendly, knowledgeable, and so much fun. This trip, Doug and Guy showed me little-known chutes, double black terrain, and backcountry trails, while Kelly, Harold, and Roy took my parents on tamer groomers. The theme of exceptional service continues with the lift operators. From waves, Merry Christmases, shoutouts, and thumbs up, they're always friendly. On Christmas Day, the Sundance chairlift opened at 8:30 a.m., but was taking a while to get up to speed at the temps of -15 Fahrenheit. Instead of making guests wait until 9 a.m. when the Sunburst bubble chair opened, they made a game day decision to open Sunburst early so skiers could get on the slopes right away with no waits and lines. After reading posts about lift issues with Stevens Pass and other resorts, I realized how truly amazing Sun Peaks lift staff really is. Exceptional staff continues in the village restaurants. We ate at Bottoms, Morrissey's Public House, Joe Poutine, and Mountain Tiger, and at each restaurant the staff was fantastic. At Bottoms, Ainsley chatted with us about biking and skiing for 30 minutes. At Morrissey's, Anne, our waitress from Quebec, was engaging and attentive. The wonderful 10 out of 10 staff throughout the resort is a reason to return to Sun Peaks, and I've never met people so excited and happy to chat with you. A major factor in going skiing is taking in the view. Some mountains have good scenery while others aren't the best, but how is Sun Peaks? It's pretty average up here. The view looking back at Todd Mountain and Sundance is nice, with the lower mountain and terrain above treeline. On a sunny day, you can see really far into the tall mountains, which can provide a nice view. Another cool thing about the scenery is the trees. They're covered top to bottom in snow, and it looks pretty good. Sun Peaks is getting a 6 out of 10 for being just a little above average with their views. Still, there's no major standout mountain or view though. The last category for this review is logistics. In other words, is Sun Peaks paying attention to the small details that contribute to a good customer experience? The answer is absolutely yes. Let's start with parking. They have multiple big lots that never get full. The crowds at this mountain are non-existent, and I've never seen them running out of parking. The plowing is good, and you can tell they put a lot of work into maintaining and preserving their roads, even in the gnarliest of conditions. The parking is also very close to the base, and you can walk less than a minute or two from most parking lots. The lift lines are next, and easily my favorite part. Now I want to know if anybody has waited in a long line at Sun Peaks. Ever. Like seriously, we go during Christmas because of this. Other places just don't seem so enticing. During the busiest time of year, the mountain is dead, and you can do laps on laps on laps. As for the mountain layout, it's great. Getting to certain parts of the mountain is easy with few runs between them. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is having to cross the road and walk across a short distance under a covered bridge to Mount Morrissey. Everything else is well designed and the lifts are placed well. There's no summit that's way too crowded and everything just fits. Their website also works well and is easy to use. I mentioned the mountain tours earlier, which is a detail that will 100% add to your trip if you decide to use it. Next, let's bring up COVID safety. Sun Peaks is doing the best job of any ski resort I've seen. Outside, masks are recommended, which makes sense. Indoors, they require masks at all times and have people there to enforce these rules. All restaurants require 2 forms of ID and a Canadian vaccination passport to be extra safe. Finally, off-mountain activities. In the summer, Sun Peaks becomes a bike park, but in the winter, there's still some fun things to do besides skiing. They have guided ice fishing tours, backcountry skiing on Mount Morrissey, and yes, heli skiing. They have several more options that can be fun for families as well. Sun Peaks will be earning a 9 out of 10 for logistics. They have everything you're looking for and more, except a few things here and there that could be inconvenient at times. This means the final score for Sun Peaks Resort is a 78 out of 100. That is super far above average and really close to Deer Valley, which only scored 3 points higher. Of the two, I can't decide which one I like better. They each have their pros and cons, but I hope all of you found this review helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.